jainworld.com 25 years of service to Jainism.
Hey Jinendra, good evening. Welcome to this lecture on Arjav, Uttam Arjav Dharma, straightforwardness. Mokshamargasya netaram vetaram karma bhubhrutam Jnataram Vishwatattvanam Vande Tadgunalabdhe Vande Tadgunalabdhe. It was in 1987 that we went to Hong Kong for the first time. And it was a shopping paradise, one of the best locations to do the shopping. And we were very excited because all the shops are open throughout the day and throughout the night, all 24 hours and 7 days a week. So no restriction worrying about when the shop will open and whether they will close or not, and holidays and all that. You go on shopping whenever you want. And this day we were on the other side of Hong Kong, Kowloon part, and we were just doing our shopping. And my wife said that Hong Kong studios are famous for taking the photos. So why not we go to some photo studio and get our photos done? And that was a good idea. And so we went to this photo studio. And there were prices written. And normally we see that in a photo studio, they say depending on the size of the photo you want to print, they will put the prices. But here it was slightly different. And they put four different prices for the photo you want to take. And the first photo they said is 5 Hong Kong dollar. Photo for what you are. And the second photo, $10. What you want to show others that you are. And for $15, your photo as others think you are. And for $25, you will get a photo of what you want to become. A real unique way of describing the different types of photos. In our life also, friends, we have these 4 different personalities which reflect the same thing. There is one personality which is what we are. What we really are inside ourselves. But that is not enough for us. So we have another type of personality which we want to show the world what we are. Definitely, what we want to show is different than what we are. And so this is another group within our personality which caters to the need that we want to show the world something different than what we really are. And then there is a third type of personality we have, which tries to find out how the world thinks we are. So it is all the time trying to find out what he is thinking about me, what they are thinking about me, what my boss is thinking about me, what so and so is thinking about me. So this part of personality whole objective is to look at yourself from the other's eyes, what they think we are, what they think I am. Because then I have a need to project myself in line with what they think I am. And of course, the last and most important part of my personality is what I want to become. So I keep looking at me from that point of view also. So these four personalities are really sort of independent people within me. So I'm not one personality. I'm not one being inside, but I am a bundle of multiple personalities. The modern psychologist called is polypsychic. A person is polypsychic means he is a bundle of multiple personalities within one. And a modern science psychologist call it now. But Bhagwan Mahavira, 2500 years back, said the same thing. And he used a very beautiful word for that. And he said, man is Bahu Chittawan. Bahu Chittawan means you are multiple personalities within yourself. A bundle of multiple personalities grouped and identified as you. So normally we think a person is one. No, he has multiple personalities within that. For example, your boss calls you and you go to your boss and then you try to show how sincere you are, how hardworking you are, how honest you are, and how you are loyal to him. And so boss says something, this need to be done in 3 days. And then you say, no, sir, I'm going to do it in 2 days because this is urgent, I know. And when you tell me something, I give full attention to that and try to focus. And like that, so when you are with the boss, you bring out one mask and put it on you. Or a different part of your personality comes and takes over you. And then from the boss, you call a meeting of your juniors, and then another personality takes over. A tough, ruthless boss, wanting things to be done quick. And then you yell at your juniors, you threaten them that if this is not completed, you may lose your job, and like that. So, few minutes back, you had put another mask and another personality was working, and now you put another mask and totally different, totally opposite personality is working. And then you come home and in presence of your wife or your husband, you put on another mask. Another personality comes out and takes the control of you. And then you try to show how much you love that person, how much you love your partner, and how much you care, and all those type of stuff. And when you go to your children, yet another personality takes control of yourself, another mask. And you go to the temple and say you are a businessman. Until going to the temple, you are thinking of profit, how to maximize the profit. And even for that, if you want to cheat the customer or cheat the government or hide the taxes or whatever, you are willing to do it. But the moment you enter the temple, you put on another mask. You bring out another personality which takes charge of you. And that personality plays the role. There, you are very religious, you are doing this and that and that, and you are donating this much, and you are going to this Tirtha Kshetra and that Tirtha Kshetra, and all those things. A totally different mask, a totally different personality. And same when you go to the friends, it is a different this thing. When you go another group, it is a different personality. When you discuss politics, it is a different personality. So in nutshell, we are not one person, but a group, a bundle of multiple personalities. And one personality takes over, and then another personality takes over. For example, you got angry with somebody, very angry, and you said this, that. And after some time, somebody told you, oh, it was not his mistake. Now another personality takes over and start repenting. Oh, how come I got angry with him? I should not have. And then later on, another personality takes over and says, hey, you got angry with him. It was not his fault. So you better go and say sorry to him. So yet another personality takes over and makes you go and say sorry. And having said sorry, yet another personality takes over, and that personality says, oh, you are really a good person, but somehow you got angry. You had no intention to get angry, but somehow you got angry. Maybe it is that person's fault, not your fault. And then you repented, you said sorry, and so you are such a good person. And now this person is ready to repeat the same mistake again. So in short, we are living with multiple personality. And what is the impact of that? Because there are multiple personalities, it creates a lot of tension in you. It creates a lot of stress in you. It creates a lot of anxiety in you. Because in front of different people, you have to put on different masks. Changing mask from one to another, switching from one role to the other role. And many times the conflicting situation comes. You are projecting yourself in one way in front of one person and in another way in front of another person. And when both of them are together, you have a problem what to project. So definitely split personality, as we want to call it, creates a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and you have to remember what you were acting in presence of various people. So let us understand why we want to do this, why we are inclined to do this, why day in and day out we do this. I think every single moment of our life, we are playing some role. We are following some script. We are trying to be what we are not. And so $1 million question is why we do this. And it is important to understand why at all we keep doing this, so that we can find a solution to this. So Mr. Henry Ford was very famous in his days. After all, he was one of the well-known figures in the world, and big manufacturer, Ford Motor Company, owner of the Ford Motor Company, and several innovative ways of manufacturing the car he has invented. And so he was very, very well known. And then he had decided to visit London. And all the paper in London published his photo that Mr. Henry Ford is going to visit London in a day or two. And Henry Ford arrives at the airport in London, and then he goes to the counter to book the hotel, and he tells that clerk there that give me the cheapest hotel. And the clerk is shocked because he had seen Mr. Henry Ford's photo just yesterday, and he, one of the richest, one of the most famous man, wanting to stay in the cheapest hotel. So he said, "Excuse me, sir, but I think you are Mr. Henry Ford, if I am not mistaken." And Henry Ford said, "Yes, I am Henry Ford." "So, sir, you are booking the cheapest hotel? Just the last week, your son was here and he booked the most expensive hotel room. And he told me, I need the most expensive room. And he had very expensive dress on him, just the new one. And sir, I see your dress looks very, very old." Henry Ford smiled and he said, "Yes, that is right. My son is nobody. He has not achieved anything in his life. Deep inside, he knows that he is very hollow. He is nothing. He is nobody. He has achieved nothing. So, to compensate for that inferiority complex in him, in the outer world, he has to show that he is somebody. And that's why he has to stay in the most expensive hotel. And that's why he has to put on the most expensive dresses, so that in the outer world, he can show people that he is somebody. But I am Henry Ford. Even though I stay in the cheapest hotel, still then I am Henry Ford. And even if my clothes are old, even in the old clothes, I am Henry Ford. And this coat you are talking about is not my coat. This is my father's coat, which I am still using. But still in that old coat, I am Henry Ford." So friends, a very, very clear reason why we want to show off in the outer, show off to others, show off to the society, is because, as Henry Ford very rightly said, that his son is nothing. His son has achieved nothing so far. He hasn't created his own identity. He hasn't created something which will give the sense of fulfillment, which will give the sense of creativity, which will give you the confidence that you are something and you can achieve something. And to cover up this hollowness inside, emptiness inside, to cover up the great inferiority complex which is inside you, because your inside knows what you really are. You cannot hide from your inside. It knows your true self. And to hide that in the external, we try to accumulate expensive things, expensive cloth, very good houses, branded clothes, expensive cars, diamond and all other things, just to hide the emptiness inside, just to hide that you are nobody inside. And that is the real reason why we have to put on so many masks, we have to put on so many personalities. And as we have seen, to put on these personalities and to put on this mask, we create a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, and we suffer a lot because we are trying to show the world that which we are not. And so a lot of scripting has to be done, and we have to keep managing those situations. So a better solution, and this is what is to try to identify what is your real self. Let us look at this from a little different angle. A famous Hollywood actor, he did a lot of roles. For several years he was in the industry and very famous, so always he will get the roles to play. And he has written in his biography that he played almost all types of roles. He played almost all types of roles. And he said, it was easy to play the roles for me. The director will give me the script. I read the script and then I am very comfortable. I get into role playing. And I play that role very well. The directors would say, very perfect. My goodness, you played this role very perfect. Exactly the way we expected. So he said, when I am playing the role and when I am playing different roles, I am very, very comfortable. But the moment I come out of that role, and there is a gap between you play this role and other role, the gap could be few hours, it could be few days that you get another role. So he says, when I come out of that role, it is very painful for me. It is very miserable for me because I don't know what I am. I don't know my real self. Playing the scripted role is okay because I have a specific script. But when I am out of the role playing and trying to find my own real personality, I am totally lost. And that is the time I am in pain, I am in misery, I am suffering to try to find my real identity, to try to find what is my real personality, who am I? And same, friends, is happening to us. We are busy playing different roles to maintain our image in the eyes of the others. Exactly so. You are playing various roles because you are looking at you from the other's eyes. What other thinks of you, what your boss thinks about you. Accordingly, you will play the script in presence of boss. And what your juniors think of you, and accordingly you will play a script in presence of them. And what your wife thinks, or your brother or sisters or father or mother, accordingly you will keep playing the scripts. So really, that like that Hollywood actor, when the script playing is there, because it is a written script, you are comfortable. And when you are in between the script playing, you are very uncomfortable because you don't know what is your real self. You don't know really who you are. You don't know what is your real personality. So many of us, friends, they are very uncomfortable when they are alone. They will suddenly switch on the TV or listen to some music or read the newspaper or go to the internet and start browsing this and that, or call a friend or do some activity to keep busy, because with oneself the most difficult part is to identify who you really are. What is your real personality? What is your real authentic self? And unless you find out that, there is no way you get peace of mind. There is no way you will get tranquility. There is no way you will get bliss. You will be always controlled by your false image of what others think of you. And that's why Jainism says that this 10 days of the selection is a good time for you to get to know your real self, who you really are, dropping all the masks, dropping all the role playing. Try to analyze, try to introspect, try to go deeper inside you. And that's why the selection is all about your inner blossoming, all about your attributes, all about your qualities. And so 10 petals of blossoming, that is what really the selection is about. And today we are talking about arjo, straightforwardness. And you have to get inside. And we know that because of the multiple personality, Bahu Chittawan, we are having the problems. We are having the issues. And so one of the $1 million question is, how do I reduce the number of personalities I am sheltering? How do I reduce the number of masks which I have to carry? And it is very tough. And as Henry Ford rightly said, that you need to be somebody, someone authentic yourself. And once you are able to identify your authenticity, your authentic self, and that self, that personality has achieved something, that self gives you that, hey, like as a Henry Ford, I created this. So like you, your real self, what has it created? What has it contributed? That is the question we have to ask. And then you need to start building on that, building on your own real self, where then you get the sense of fulfillment. then you know you can contribute something, you have contributed something. So you get the confidence. The hollowness in you starts filling up with what you have really achieved, what your authentic self has achieved, what you have collected outside in the outer world, in the Bahir-Atma. Unfortunately, that doesn't fill anything inside you. That can never fill anything inside you. And that is the contrast in our life. That in the outer world, in the Bahir-Atma, we are after collecting so many things. We are after establishing your image, reputation, your social status. And this is all false image. The day you realize this is all false image, you will start focusing on the your original real self and start building it there. Let's understand why it is false. Firstly, it is all related to your body. Whatever in the external we are doing, 98% of it is related to your body and body needs. This body is not yours. As we say in Jainism, it is a Pudgal. Your Atma, your Chetan Shakti, you are residing in this body. But that body by itself is a Pudgal. It doesn't belong to you. So everything that is connected to the body doesn't belong to you. Your name, is that name a true name? No. The society gave you the name. Because society wants a methodology to be able to call you, to identify you. So they give name to every newborn baby. So they give me name Vinod. So I can be identified and I can be called. Is that name real? No. It is just given by the society for the convenience. And so everything related to my name, how can it be real when the name itself is not real? And the name which is given to the body itself is, a Padgal, is not mine, is not me. So all that name, reputation and all that, it is really a false thing. But we are obsessed with it. And we are so much obsessed with the role playing in the outer world, looking at ourselves from the eyes of the others. And so that is the real problem. And so Jainism says that you need to work on reducing your Bahu Chittawan. So make your Chitta stable, solid. So it is not, wavering every time. It is not chattering every time. And so your need to have multiple mass can be reduced. In Gunasthana, we have a Gunasthan called Yathakhyata Charitra. In Yathakhyata Charitra, you become one personality. All your different personalities are dropped. All your masks are dropped. What you are is what you project to the outer world that you are. Is what the other things you are. And that is what you want to be. So there is 100% transparency in your personality, and all divisions, all multiple personality, all the masks are dropped. You are the same person, whether you are in the family or in presence of others, in presence of your boss or in presence of your wife. You are the same personality, unique. And when that uniqueness happens, you are all personalities merge into one. All your tension, all your stress, all your strength, all the anxieties, all the fear factors, they vanish because now you are nothing to hide. What you are is what you are. I know we cannot achieve 100% of that, but our goal should be to travel on this path as much as we can. Say 50% we can go, and instead of now 100, 200 personalities, if we can reduce it to 2 or 3, of great achievement. You will start feeling the peace of mind, the tranquility, the bliss, the festivity, the celebration, and all the negativity will be dramatically reduced. So it is very, very important that we go deeper inside, because all this transformation is happening inside. Your split personalities are inside you, and your roots are inside in the Unter-Atma, and in Bahir-Atma, in the outer. It is just the manifestation of that. So if there are sort of impurities in your Chetan Shakti, they will be reflected in your manifestation in outside. But the correction has to be, the purification has to be done inside you. And that's why in the Pratikraman, we have these methods of purification described. Tasya uttarikaranena, prayaschittakaranena, visohikaranena, vishallikaranena, nigaya attaya, thami kausagam. So that purification process is inside, and as we have seen earlier, we need to make sure that whatever time we are spending in the outer, in the Bahir-Atma, and whatever time you are spending in Unter-Atma, the inner, the purification process, we need to keep track of that, and we need to create a balance between the two. It should not happen that we spend all the time as a Bahir-Atma and expect the purification to be done. No, it is not going to happen. We need to spend enough time and enough energy and enough efforts in the inner to purify, so that all these requirements of showing off to others are minimized. The conflicting personalities are minimized. Once you are confident inside you, like the Henry Ford. Henry Ford is less bothered about presenting a good dress to others, and he's less bothered about showing others that he is a big man and because he stays in an expensive hotel. No. He is confident about himself as a Henry Ford. And so he is very confident, saying it doesn't matter whether the hotel is cheaper or expensive. It doesn't matter whether my clothes are new and expensive or I'm wearing my father's coat. That confidence inside you has to be built, has to be created. And that only you can create. And you can create that going inside and going in the transition for inside. And so sometimes we may think that what we are doing is now correct, but you need to be careful and make sure and keep checking what you are doing is sort of in the right direction. So this man, a very rich man, and he had just one son. And in the childhood, when they had gone to the fair in the next town, he got lost. And then this man never heard of him. And now he was almost getting old, and he was wondering so much wealth and why my son has gone and all that. And suddenly, one day, one young man came, and he says, I am your son. And this rich man had no way to identify. But he said, yeah, it is good my son has come from after so many years. And he welcomed his son, and he threw a big party to the town, called everybody, and had a good party. And few days passed, and this son took all his wealth and vanished. Because he was not his real son. But this man believed, he thought, yes, he is my real son. Similarly, things can happen to us. We can wrongly identify ourselves with some false personality and think that this is my real personality. And like the son vanished one day, taking all the wealth. If you have adopted wrong personality as your real self, that whole thing you have built will collapse, will not be there. So, identifying our real self is an ongoing process. It needs to be done every day. Sometime in a day, we need to spend and do the self-reflection. Do the self-reflection so that we know that what we are experiencing, what we are building is on the platform of the real self. So purification has to be done. And one simple way, how you drop the mask, one practical aspect will take, and that is to be done in the outer, in the Bahir-Atma. So I think it should be easy for us to do it. So draw 10 circles, because it is Dasalakshan, so we'll only take 10 circles. Like in the last this thing, we drew 10 circles. So same way, draw 10 circles, and now create a list of the people in presence of whom you have to put on a mask. That is, you have to show what you are not. That's why you have to put the mask. You are something different inside, and you have to show that you are something different than that. And so you have to put the mask. So create the list of people, and in presence of whom you have to put a mask. And maybe 400, 500 people or 100, depending on your network and the type of work too. And then against each, draw how many different masks you are wearing in presence of that personality, in presence of that person. So in presence of wife, you may be wearing 5, 6, 7 masks, or in presence of your husband, you'll be measuring 5, 6, 7 masks. So find out and write how many masks. Now draw these people in 10 circles, as we have said, 1 mask, 2 masks, 3 masks, or 10 masks, or 15, or more than 10, like that. So you will find that 95% of the people are such that you wear not many masks in their presence. Now you identify the reasons why you wear the mask. And there would be 8 or 10 reasons. So write down those reasons, like I want to impress the people, I want to look young. I want to look beautiful. I want to look religious. I want to look honest. And like that, I want to look compassionate. So you write down the reasons why you need to put the mask. And now it is very simple, friends. Try to eliminate the need for those masks. For by once you identify the reasons, you go deep inside you and try to eliminate that one. So one of the four uh, Pratikraman Sutras, Vishuddhikaran, Visaldikaran, Visovikaran, and all those. And so you will be able to find that there are few reasons why you want to wear mask in presence of so many people. So now you can easily drop that 500 people to say 40, 50, 20, 25 people. So a big chunk of masks will disappear. And you will have much smaller audience in presence of whom you need to still wear the masks. And then in the second stage, what we do is, against each person, let us say there are 10 reasons why you want to wear 10 masks. So try to reduce those reasons one by one. So say in presence of your wife or a husband, you have 10 different masks to wear. So you say, okay, I will drop these 2 masks and let him or let her know my real personality of those 2 qualities. And this way, slowly over a period of time, 1 or 2 years time, you will be able to drop lot of personalities. You will be able to drop lot of masks. And then you start becoming integrated inside. Once you start getting integrated inside, the conflict between the different personalities that govern you will reduce. So it is always conflict between 2 personalities. One personality says you should be honest and sincere and not cheat. The other personality says, hey, in today's world where there is so much of bad things happening, how can I be honest? So now there is a conflict between 2 parts of you. Doesn't matter which wins. The conflict is creating tension, stress, negativity, frustration, inferiority complex. And you are wasting so much energy in the conflict. So if you minimize that conflict or eliminate that conflict, that same energy can be used for you to build your own personality, to become somebody, to have some contributions done so that you are confident about you. Like Henry Ford, then you don't have to worry about what is your image in the eyes of others. And you don't have to bring the scripts and act. So as you build yourself inside, the need for the mask and multiple personalities to play the script outside is going to minimize. And this is the goal. This is the goal of straightforwardness. And that's why this is one of the important attributes which will help us to integrate. And once you go deep inside and do some 20 minutes of deep meditation, not much, 20 minutes of deep meditation done in the morning will keep you with the positive energy for the whole day. Your need for wearing different masks will dramatically drop down. Just 20 minutes of being in the inner and do a deeper meditation for just 20 minutes, and it will give you the ability, it will give you the manobal, it will give you the atmobal, that is willpower and moral strength to stand in the outer with bigger confidence, with greater command on yourself. And that's why straightforwardness, it looks difficult in today's world because there is so much hypocrisy around. There is so much falsification around. There is so much showmanship around. Everybody is busy showing off. Whether it is marriages, it is birthday functions, anything else, the showmanship. People want to show off what they are not. And it is really challenging, a real tough situation. But as they say, when the going is tough, the tough gets going. So this is a challenge for you, challenge for your willpower, challenge for your ability to stand up in the challenging situation and then come out winning. And so straightforwardness, this is a difficult exercise. I am not saying it is simple. Especially in today's world, it is much more difficult. And we have seen one way, and we'll be going in more detail of how that pratikraman part is to be done, how we do the inner purification and what are the methods. And we talked very briefly about it, but one of the future lectures we'll be talking in great details so that we'll have clarity how really we do this purification. And friends, it is not a difficult process. Only you need a willpower, you need a sort of commitment to that process, and you will be able to overcome. So the need for putting up different masks, trying to deceive people, trying to cheat people, comes out of lack of confidence in yourself. Lack of confidence in your ability to get the things done. Because inside you know you are hollow. Inside there is no sense of fulfillment. Inside there is no sense of achievement. And in order to, very wrongly we think that doing the things in the outer world, more specifically, collecting different things in outer world, doing the script, showing people what we are not, will do that trick, but it will not. The best way is to move towards integrating your personality, merging the various contradicting parts of your personality and start unifying them one by one. It's a long process and it will take time, but once you start moving in that direction, you will find that you will gain speed as you progress. You do it much faster in the future as you enhance your skills in trying to integrate your personality. So Tam Arja is all about trying to be somebody in real sense. And that fulfillment will give you the courage to be what you are. Like Henry Ford is very comfortable in a cheapest hotel, is very comfortable in whatever dress he has put, because in the inner he knows he is Henry Ford. So with this, friends, I hope that we will look at Uttam Madhav in a much different perspective and work on the practical ways to minimize the Bahu Chittawan part of our personality and take steps to integrate so that the falsehood which we have to keep doing in the outer will drop one by one. Our masks will drop one by one, and then we will start becoming integrated personality. Yathakhyat Charitra is a long-term goal, but at least we can start moving in that direction so that our integrated self will bring peace and tranquility and bliss and festivity and celebration. With this, we conclude today's lecture. Om Arham.
jainworld.com 25 years of service to Jainism.